Real vibes, real shit, real stories. Come get a bite at the Lunch Meat Podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lunch Meat Podcast. And today I'm with the Queen Madison herself. You know, the beautiful Miss Madison, life coach, law of attraction coach, I would say, and manifestation. She's born and raised here in she's derived in Atlanta. I won't say born and raised yet because we're gonna get to know that part for sure, for real. So, ladies and gentlemen, Queen Madison. Should put your crown on for this one.
I will. I've got it right here just in case we need to pop it on.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm so excited to be here and to get into it.
Yes. So on the show, you know, we talk to many professional athletes, doctors, business owners, book writers, a lot of successful people. And a lot of people, you know, they see their only success, the end success. They don't see the challenges they may have went through. They don't see the grind they put in their work, in their everyday life to get to the point. So to understand the person or the end goal, the end success person, we like to know their childhood and how they grew up, how they were raised, where they're from. So that's very important to who you are right now. So, Madison, explain to the world your childhood, where you grew up, your family structure, your lifestyle growing up.
Yeah, so I was very blessed. So I did not come from hard beginnings at all. I am very, very blessed in that department. I grew up in a small town in the middle of Massachusetts. My parents divorced when I was 2, but I didn't know any different. They never fought in front of me, never fought at all, I don't think. Always maintained a really healthy relationship. I had 2 Christmases, 2 birthday parties, 2 everything every year. So I didn't know any different except for, cool, I get 2 of everything if they're not together. Right. So as a little girl, I didn't know. Both of them were entrepreneurs. So traditional entrepreneurs, blood, sweat, and tears their whole way to, you know, did very well their whole lives, both of them. My mom had a cleaning business that she started when she was 16. Wow. And my dad, so she had an interesting start. Is doing very well now.
Let's talk about that. Your mom started.
Yeah. So no, she had, I mean, it's funny, right? Because we talk about people's beginnings and stuff, but It's like, there's always something worse. There's always something better. And it's really just like a law of relativity, right? It's just relative to the next guy next to you. So hers wasn't that bad either. But she just, you know, left home early when she was 16, started a business and just didn't have early great relationships with her parents. So she had to figure shit out, for lack of a better word. Same with my dad. They both came from both environments where they had to just figure it out. Like they were kind of just pushed out on their own. They both went into, my mom went into business because she had no choice. She didn't like school. She didn't do well in school. So she started a business. My dad followed his brother's footsteps and went into General Electric, which GE, became an engineer by chance. Got laid off when he was, I think, 26 or so, got laid off, but was still doing well. And when he got laid off, he got forced to go into construction, where he started his own business. So when I was born, they were both very much like grinding their butts off. We were living in my grandmother's basement, I think. I don't remember any of this, but yeah, we were living in my grandmother's basement. They were both grinding their asses off. And because of that, provided me a very comfortable, privileged lifestyle. Let's just say that. I was the only grandchild and sibling for 7 years. So my mom had, So talk about where this comes from. It's my early childhood. I literally have a picture when I was like 3 with a crown on my head. Like,
Yes, send me pictures so I can put it up.
I will. I'll send you the picture. Yeah. But no, my mom had 3 sisters, so I had 2 aunts, and on both sides, I was the only child for 7 years. So I just got spoiled and loved on, and so I had a really great childhood. I think if anything, I used to ask my dad this all the time, like, do I need to fall in order to rise? Like, do I need to hit rock bottom in order to go up?
Purposely.
And what?
Like purposely, or since everything
I
is
purposely asked him the
Right.
question, but I had just studied successful people, and
Right.
almost every successful person had hit rock bottom before their success. So I was like, the common denominator is kind of that, and I didn't have
Right.
that. I didn't
Right.
have that at all. So for a while, I was like, do I need that in order to really bring that fire out of me, or like, can I unleash it without hitting rock bottom? And my dad always used to say to me, and my mom too, like, learn from our mistakes and catapult off of them. Like, you do not need to go back and relearn all the mistakes that we made. You can take what we've learned and build off of that. So that's what I ended up doing. Although I was, I guess, spoiled and stuff, and I was little, they did instill really great work ethic in me.
Correct.
They always met me halfway on stuff. I paid for half of my college tuition and was working when I was 12. So they instilled work ethic and all that in me, but very blessed that I wasn't in, any abusive homes, had very loving, nurturing dynamics on both sides. Yeah.
Okay, so you remind me of this interview I just had with this guy, Chase Lappy. He owns ATRX, which is a CBD company in Atlanta. And one thing he mentioned something like that too as well. He said like that work ethic. Even though he came from humble beginnings and whatnot, his dad still made him wake up 6 o'clock in the morning during the summertime. As kids, supposed to go out and just enjoy summer with your friends and whatnot. His dad made him wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, work from 6 to 8 p.m. to learn work ethic and cut grass every day for the summertime. And
yeah. Yeah. So similarly, when I was in high school, my mom signed our family up to host a foreign exchange student because it was good in retrospect. I love her to bits. We're like sisters now. But at the time I was 14, and she did it to instill in me, like, you gotta learn how, like, just to give me a new dynamic, because it had always just been me and like my parents. So she shared a room together for a year, and I learned how to just learn a different culture. She was from Norway. So like culturally she was totally different than I was, and really great experience for me. But my parents also, they made me work. I was going to the gym with my dad at like 5 a.m., like 8th grade.
Right.
Like little girl going to the gym with her dad at 5 a.m. So yeah, they did a really good job at instilling that in me, because I've seen other people that have, comfortable upbringings, but like they're 26 years old and they're still, like, their parents are still paying their phone bill. So
that sucks.
They clip their wings. It clips their wings. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so grateful. My parents were like, we've got you, but like, you need to figure your own shit out.
Right. So when did it kind of give you that, you know what, I'm cutting you off right now, you didn't figure yourself out? When did it give you that talk, or that same day?
Yeah, so I remember it clear as day. So I was in college. It was my sophomore year. I was in a sorority called Alpha Phi.
Okay.
And I wanted to stay in the sorority, and it was like $800 every 2 months or something, or every semester or something. And I wasn't working. I had savings from summers.
Correct.
From like nannying. I worked at a car wash during the summer, made bank. But I wasn't working during college. So I wanted to stay in, and I messaged my dad and I said, hey Dad, this is the fee. I really want to do it. I think it's going to be great. Like, I sold him on it to pay for it. And I'll never forget, he sent me back this long ass essay. Like long
text message one. Oh,
so long. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting reamed out right now. And he didn't ream me out, but he was essentially, long story short, was just like, I don't want to clip your wings. And if you really want it, you're going to figure it out. So I was like, damn it. But I did. I went and I got a job alongside working in college, and I stayed in Alpha Phi, and I started to learn what money was. You know, like at 14, I was babysitting. At 16, I bought my own car, paid for gas, all that stuff, you know? So I had a good concept of like money, how it works, what things cost, what you've got to do to get it, like all that, you know what I mean? I feel like some people don't have that, and then they fall on their face in adulthood because they don't know. They don't know how it works. Yeah.
Wow. We're gonna help those people out.
Yeah.
We're gonna help those people out.
Yeah.
All right, so you got into law of attraction, spirituality. So when did you start learning about those concepts of life?
So it was early in college. I realized like, oh my God, I'm not learning anything that's going to help me outside of here. Like I was learning more about business. I was in network marketing. I got my start in everything in network marketing. Gotcha. I was working with a company called Vive. It was like an energy company at the time. Gone now, but I started with them, and I remember I just like learned so much through network marketing and like my mentors in business there. And then I'd go in school and I'd be like, what are we learning about? Like, this is not real business. Like what I was learning outside was way more impactful than what I was learning in those four walls. So I quickly started to understand like, I've got to rely on something else other than this business degree because it's not getting me anywhere. And so I transferred colleges so that I didn't have any debt after school, because I was like, this is BS. Like, I don't want student loan debt. Yeah, for no freaking reason. So I transferred to a small state school in Massachusetts. I was in Ohio, transferred home, paid $3,000 a year instead of like $60,000 a year, and graduated with no business debt, got the piece of paper. And I just remember being like, what am I going to do? Because I didn't learn how to form an actual business in business school. Didn't even know how to balance a checkbook. I mean, it totally doesn't set you up for real world business at all. And so at that time, the only person around me that I saw that was living a life that I desired was my dad. He was doing well. He had about 3 companies going at the time. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to swallow my ego and be my dad's assistant so that I can learn from him.
Right.
The last thing I wanted to do, because there's just that, like, I feel like stigma or whatever, like daddy's little girl.
Not really like a failure.
Like you're feeding off your family. Yeah. Like you're giving it, like the last thing I wanted was to be given success. Like I was like, I would be so miserable if that was my reality. So I didn't want that, but I also knew that he knew things that I didn't know. And I knew that if I just shadowed him and worked as his assistant for a while, I could learn a lot about actual business. So I did that for about 6 months. And coincidentally, when I started, he started working with a man by the name of Bob Proctor, who was in the movie The Secret. And is like, he's like about to be 87 years old in July. He just turned 87. He's turning 87 in July. Very close friend of mine now. But for some reason, when I heard Bob speak, I was 19, 20. And he was like, you can have anything that you want. He's like, you're so young. He's like, you're young. You've got it going on. He's like, you could have anything that you want. And I remember being like, what do you mean? Like, I can have anything that I want. Like, show me how to do it. I was very skeptical. I didn't believe it could work for me. I didn't believe in the law of attraction. I didn't believe in manifestation. I thought it was all hocus pocus baloney. But I didn't know what else to do other than give it a go. Like, because I didn't have a passion. I didn't really know what my purpose was. I was like a floundering college graduate. I had no idea what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And I didn't want to go into corporate. So I started studying with Bob, and that's when everything started to change. I surrendered to his process for 6 months. And in 6 months, I had become a business partner with my dad in one of his companies, consulting company. I had purchased my dream car, which is a Range Rover at the time. And I quadrupled my income all in 6 months. got my confidence under wraps, got my weight under wraps. I used to like fluctuate in weight really bad. So I changed my whole life in 6 months, and it was driving off the lot with my new car where I was just like, how the hell did how the hell did this happen? Yeah. How did small town girl, I mean, yeah, my parents did well, but we weren't rich by any means. We were middle class, you know what I mean? Average. We weren't millionaires ever. So yeah, at that point I was like, it's crazy that we're not taught this in schools. And I dedicated that day, the rest of my life to studying it every day and teaching it to others.
Wow. So
yeah.
Bob Proctor, is that the deep voice guy that you hear in the secret says, I am that I am? I am that I am. So
I think so.
That's a quote, right? That comes up. Was a great saying that comes up in secrets. I like talking about stuff like this. You know, you got me a little excited. You know what I'm saying? So what you think that means? Like, I know he said you can say in two different ways. I am that I am. Or you can say I am that I am. Right? So when you hear those two words or those two types of sayings, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I am that I am means, so if I picked up something, right? It's like I am that I am. You can replace it with anything. You could say I am prosperity that I am. You could say I am money that I am. You could say I am wealth I am. It just means that you are one with everything and everything is one with you. It means that you are a creator. You are a legion of God. You're a conduit of God, of creation. You're a vessel for creation. You're a spirit living in a body. You are a part of consciousness. You are that you are.
Wow. Yep. You know,
everything is connected.
It's very connected. And since 19 years old, like I told you on my phone, I was on this journey. It's really getting there for me. It's doing well for me. I'll tell you that, because I tried it the negative way and it worked. I tried it in the womanizer way, using it as to my advantage as a guy. In my younger years, it worked. And I used it to prosper and help people, and it works. So it's like giving someone the power or the knowledge to control the world. What can they do with it? What would they do with it? Like giving someone evil the power to control the world. Yeah, here's his power. You can do what you want with it. There you go. Or get someone who's really good and want to do something to prosper in life to help others.
Yeah, I mean, Hitler and Gandhi used the same principles in different ways.
Right. So
power of the word. I mean, you can do with it what you want.
Yes, you can. So next, Madison, we want to talk about your coaching business, how your life coaching, and how do you help people in life? So how did you get started with that?
So I got started pretty much after the car experience, really. I mean, I've recently actually branched off on my own. I was in a partnership and just felt it was time to kind of go my own way. So that's recent, but I've been doing what I've been doing for the last 5 years since the whole car experience and all that. And I don't think I'll ever stop. I think I'll always do it. I mean, I study it for myself every day, and I study it and become a example of it, so that I could help others and instill their own belief in themselves, because it's like the manual to life, you know? I mean, imagine playing a game but not having the rule book. Like, you don't know where to start. Like, you're just floundering around. So it's the keys to the kingdom, literally.
Wow. So how do you help people with coaching? Like, some say, can someone come to you at their bottom of their life, or can someone come at different levels of their life? And what do you do to
so I have a lot of free content to consume. Someone at the bottom, truly, YouTube University, I call it, will serve them well. Like, I spent years on YouTube and just figuring shit out by myself. And you can do that. Like YouTube will serve you really well if you truly are at rock bottom, meaning you can't financially invest in yourself or personal development or anything like that. I've been there. I get it. YouTube. Go on YouTube and research your butt off. I do free master classes every month inside a Facebook group. It's called Mindset Mastery for Female Entrepreneurs, although it's open to everyone. But yeah, I mean, there's so much free content. I give away so much free value on YouTube, podcasts, the monthly masterclass. I do weekly live Q&As. And then you just get to a point where the financial exchange will actually help you to earn more money.
Break it down. Break that down for everybody.
Yeah, I'll break it down. So essentially, money is literally just, it's so cliche and it's so thrown around, but money is just energy. It's just, the value of money is no different than the value of a piece of plastic made in a factory. Like, it's made in the same amount of time that a vacuum is made, or like a dust mop or something. Like, it comes from the same place, it's made in pretty similar amount of time, and it goes through a pretty similar process. So money is not this big, oh my God, idolized thing that we think it is. But because we live in a society where we idolize money and we think it's like so up here, and we think it's so like out of reach and untangible and hard to earn and hard to keep and hard to save, and if you invest it, it's scary. Like, we unconsciously buy into this whole dynamic about money. And because we buy into it at a very young age, it shows up in our money experience. So we then have a hard time earning it. We then don't know how to save it. We then say things like, I'm bad with it, or I don't know how to manage it, or all this weird stuff. We don't even know why we're saying it. It's because society has said all these things and we've taken them on as factual, but they're not. So when you get to a point where you have money to invest in yourself, it's the best thing I ever did for myself, because when you confidently release money, and bigger and bigger and bigger amounts of it, like, I've released money that's made me very uncomfortable. I've invested over 6 figures in myself, in my own mind, personal development strategies, whatever, being around people that I want to be around.
Right.
Money does not have a hold on me at all anymore, because I've played with it so much. It's just like, whatever, money in, money out, more money in, more money out. It's just like a really healthy experience, but it took me 4 years to get there. To like really be energetically okay with releasing and trusting that it's always coming back. So when you get to the point where you can invest, even though it's scary, you want to push yourself to invest in yourself, as long as you can get to feeling good about the investment. It's going to be scary because it's going to be challenging your way of being and everything that everyone's ever told you about what to do with money. But unfortunately, the people that tell us what to do with money have no fucking money.
Yeah, that's broke people like be around broke people.
Yeah, so you've kind of got to say, like, all right, there's 2 ways, there's 2 paths. The broke path or the wealthy path.
Right.
If you really want to be wealthy, and by wealthy, I mean the whole human experience. Like, I mean relationships, I mean love, I mean social dynamics, I mean business, sure, money, opportunities, like your way of living, your way of being, like a true wealthy experience, like fully playing with life. Broke mentality, I don't look at it as just you don't have money in the bank. I look at it as you're complaining, you're sick, and you're broke, and you complain, and you hang around people who complain, and you find yourself at the bars every weekend. Like, it's not hard to see the difference. So people have just got to say, I want to be wealthy, and start studying wealthy people. What do they do? Where do they hang out? Where do they go? How do they spend? What do they spend on? How do they shop? Where do they shop? And you start embodying a wealthy person, you'll become a wealthy person.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
That was a roundabout way of getting there, but I mean, help people just understand their mind. But yeah, my friends have totally changed. Oh my God. Now, I still love my friends from high school and everything. I love them to bits. We're geographical friends, though.
Right.
I didn't choose them. They didn't choose me. We just happened to be in the same class. And we looked similar, so we liked each other.
Right.
That's how it works. When you're that little, you don't know any better. You find people that look like you and you want to be friends. That's it.
So how you think people can break that stigma? Like, you know how like gonna stick with this group of people because that person looked like me, like you said, they relate. Then not knowing that person of a different culture can be the same person that can help you out elevate your life. So how can people who has a mindset of staying in the same group, afraid to branch out, how can they what mindset do they need to branch out?
Yeah. So I thankfully always had, my parents did a really good job at, I was sheltered in a way that I was not exposed to, I mean, this is also like white privilege if we're gonna be transparent. But I was sheltered in a way that I had friends of all backgrounds, of all colors, shapes, and sizes. And I never knew any different.
Hmm.
And because I was white, I didn't experience any discrimination. I'm just speaking culturally right now, but
Right.
I didn't experience any of that. So I didn't know about it. And my parents didn't show me anything or say anything to make me believe that we were not the same. So I didn't know better. The first experience I had where I started to say was, we were at a party, a high school party. I think it was like sophomore year. One of my best friends was a really tall Black athlete. And the cops came, and I'll never forget, he was like wigging out. And I'm like, it's fine, just stay. Like, what? My mom's gonna come get us. Like, it's no big deal. He's like, we need to get the fuck out of here. And that was the first like eye-opening experience for me. Again, I fully understand this is ignorance and privilege, 100%. I'm just saying it starts with where and how you're raised. So an 8-year-old is not going to know if the parents say things behind closed doors. The kid's going to go to school and act out what the parents taught them. Like, my parents never taught me that anyone was different from anyone. My dad is like a Black guy in a white suit, literally. He's like,
Yeah.
He's just like crazy, and he has friends of I just never knew any different. So for me, I branched off very quickly. I had no problem with it. I was hanging out with, you know, the geek squad, the popular people, the jocks. I did not care. I was just like wide open. And I have to credit that to my parents, because I don't think I knew enough at that age to know better, you know?
Mm.
But at the same time, like, kids who aren't like that don't know better. If they knew better, they would be doing better. So it all comes from your early childhood. And as soon as you're conscious of it, then you can start choosing. And with social media now and everything, like, people know what's right and wrong.
Right.
And you know what's poor and wealthy. And you know what feels good and doesn't feel good. And you can make decisions. The only thing that holds people back from branching out when it comes to, you know, culturally, financially, with their circle, with their hometown group, whatever it is the fear of what people are going to think about them. That's a whole nother podcast. But
Wow.
it is, you know, it's, I mean, it's just fear. What are they going to think? Are they going to judge me? Like, I remember when I first started talking online, I was afraid of what my high school friends were going to say about me. And they did. They said all the stuff. They said all the stuff about me. Now they're asking how I did it, and they want to work with me.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's irrelevant. You know, you've got to understand enough to just be like, fuck it, I'm just going for it.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do? Be comfortable your whole life? That's boring.
So people who's comfortable in life,
yeah,
with your coaching, how can you help people get uncomfortable in doing other things outside of their norm, their everyday? How can someone who's working 9 to 5 every day for the last, say, 10 to 20 years, and that's all they know is work, how can you help someone like that branch out to new activities, a new lifestyle for them?
Yeah, it starts with the $1 million question, which is, what do you want? What do they want? If a person doesn't know what they want, then they're not going to get uncomfortable for anything. There's no reason to. Why are you going to get uncomfortable if there's no point to it? So the number one question is, people have got to know what it is that they're wanting. whether that's a certain income or that's a certain job promotion or a certain relationship or whatever. To be a better dancer, it doesn't matter. You just got to have some sort of direction, some sort of goal, something that you really want, and you've got to really want it. From that point, it's okay, what do you think the first steps are to move in that direction? I mean, there's the mindset part of it, which is like 95% of creation. But then there's like 5% mechanical stuff where the courage comes in to step outside your comfort zone and do something different.
Right.
But if you don't know what you want, you're not going to do anything because there's nothing to do it for. What are you going to do? Make a fool out of yourself for no reason? It's like, so gotta know what you want, and then ask yourself, like, what are 2 things that I could do this week that are uncomfortable for me, but that will move me closer to who I'm wanting to become, and just do those things. It's easier said than done, though.
Yeah. Me, I'm getting back in the gym and everything, right? And doing other things, and try to provide, be a better person internally and for others.
Yeah.
Some things you got to sacrifice. Like, I can't do that right now because it's time related. But also it takes discipline. You can do it. It's just a mentality that you have to have.
Yeah,
So,
you've got to be able to look at yourself objectively and say, how am I doing? How am I doing with my health? How am I doing in my relationships? How am I doing with my business? How am I doing with really getting after the life that I say that I want? How am I doing?
how am I doing? It's a very important question. So what do you want is $1 million question. My $2 million is
How am I doing? Yeah.
Okay,
How's it going for me?
The third $1 million question. Let's call this $1 million question. So what's your everyday looks like? So I wake up, Queen Madison of the city of Atlanta. I'm taking over. What's some things that you say? Yep, there you go. What's some things that you say to yourself every day to keep yourself motivated and energized and charged up, ready to go, take over the day? Seize the day.
Yeah. So I'm looking through. I have all these on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
So I study every single day. I study my mind every single day, various books. I'm always under mentorship and in different programs. So I study for my mind every day. And then I also do something spiritually and physically every day. So we exist on 3 planes, right? We've got spiritual, spiritual, intellect, and body. Did I say that right? Spiritual, intellect, and physical. It's been a long day. It's 7 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. So you've got 3 planes. So I wake up every morning and I take care of each plane. So I wake up, the first thing I do is spiritual, because when you're first waking up, you're in something called beta state, which means your conscious mind is kind of still blah, and your subconscious mind is pretty wide open. So for the first 5 minutes, everyone wakes up, they should be aligning themselves with themselves, meaning getting yourself to feel really good about where you're at in life. So it might be like, oh my gosh, I love the bed that I'm in. I love the sheets that are around me. I love that I've got 4 walls around me. I love that I'm safe. I love that I've got blah, blah, blah. And you just look around you and you use your immediate environment to feel really good about where you're at. I don't even care if you're in a box. Be thankful for the box. Secondly, I study. So spiritual, I get to feeling good. I align my soul with my physical body. And when you're aligned, you feel really good. So if you're a beginner listening to this and you're like, how do I know, like, I did it? When you feel really good and blessed and happy and peaceful and enlightened, that's when you know you're aligned. When you feel scared, fearful, envy, jealousy, unsure, lack of clarity, anything that makes you feel yucky, you're not aligned.
Right.
The more aligned you are, the better you feel. So number 1, align yourself. Number 2, study in your mind. I don't care what you're doing with your life. You should study your mind every single day. You can never know enough about yourself. So like, you've got this body and you've got this mind and you've got a spiritual essence about you, and we don't know anything about it. Most people know nothing about their mind, like literally not jack. If you ask someone, what does your mind look like? They say it's the brain. The mind is not the brain. So start studying yourself and how you channel energy, right? I am that I am.
I am that I am. Mm.
Is okay. So part of understanding that is understanding how you take advantage of this vessel that God gave you in order to create the life that you're wanting, whether you're religious or spiritual, it doesn't matter. Universe, God, I don't care what you call it. It's all the same thing. And then thirdly, I go to the gym and I work on my body. So I take care of all three planes every single day, no matter what.
People, please use that concept in life. If you need some help, Queen Madison's here to help you. So, so what's a motivational quote? What's that one motivational quote that you was given as a kid, that your parents probably instilled into you, or you may gotten from Mr. Crocker, that you still
Proctor.
use today? Proctor?
Proctor.
Proctor. Gotcha. Proctor.
What is one quote?
Yes. Or you can give me two or three.
Or like a principle?
A principle or a quote.
I'll give you a principle. The faster that you can make things no big deal, the easier they become to achieve. Example, if you think $1 million is, oh my God, like so much, it's going to be very hard for you to ever see or achieve that. And if you get it, you're going to be like, oh, what do I do with it? You're going to lose it. That's why people who win the lottery, they're like, oh, and all the money blows out the back door. They're not aligned with it. They don't know how to work with it. And so God conspires it to get the heck out of their lives because they don't know what the hell to do with it for good or bad or anything. You've got to become a vibrational match for whatever it is that you want. And the way that you do that is by making it no big deal and feeling like you could have it, no problem. I'm working on right now making $1 million a month, no big deal. $1 million a month, no big deal. Like I'm working with that number. I'm saying it all the time. I'm writing it down. I'm breaking it down. 1 million divided by 10. What is that? What is $1 million a month? Like how much is that a day? Like making it super small, saying, what do I need to sell to earn that? How can I do it differently, faster? Just playing with the number and making it no big deal. Talking to other people who have done it, seeing how they look at it as no big deal because they do.
Right. Very.
Anyone that's done it looks at it like, yeah, no big deal.
Right.
And so the faster you can encompass the mindset of someone who's already doing it, the faster you're going to experience it in the physical realm.
$1 million a week, no big deal. That's
Okay. You've got to really believe it. If you don't believe it,
right, it's not going to happen.
Work. No.
See it, believe it. Imagine you in that GTR skyline like I imagine every day. Shifting gears, that's me. But
there you go.
How can people reach out to you, contact you, or they want someone to mentor? They want you to mentor them. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah. Instagram is the best way. I monitor my DMs. It's just official Madison Rose, and I'll chat with you. Okay. Not my assistant, it's me.
It is her.
Really me.
So how can someone get some coaching from you too as well? The same way?
So it depends on where same thing. It depends on where they're at. If you're looking for mentorship at any level, just shoot me a message with where you're at and what you're wanting to accomplish, and I can set you up with whatever would be best for you. Obviously, my one-on-one coaching wouldn't be a fit for someone who doesn't have a business yet. And my group container wouldn't be a fit for someone who already has a really profitable business. So depends on the person.
Correct. Depends on the person. So Queen Madison, I appreciate you for coming on the show.
Appreciate you.
It's a blessing, and I appreciate your energy, positive energy back. Allah salam alaikum, assalamu salam, all is back. Energy. So that means peace be with you, and with you be peace.
Is that assalamu alaikum?
Yep, assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam.
Oh my God, I thought that was a bad word.
No, girl.
So my dad always says that, assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, so
but my dad is a interesting person, so sometimes he says weird stuff. So I assumed it was a negative, bad word.
No, that means he's very culturally inclined. So like, say someone Muslim or they're studying and someone come to you like, hey, assalamu alaikum, you said alaikum salam, so they're saying peace be with you, and when you say alaikum salam, that means with you be peace.
Well, assalamu alaikum.
Yep, alaikum salam. So I'm still learning. I'm just culturally inclined with everything, so I'm very cultural.
I love that.
person.
I love that.
And also, I got to show you these because
Is that money signs? What is that?
look at chakra points.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
So my
Good
friend
stuff.
Sha, so shout out to Sha. She like I said, she got me on my path early in my days, about 19 years old. So I was out here doing what I wanted to do in life, you know, in different ways. I won't say always the right way. So she sat me down like, hey man, watch The Secret. You need to watch this and come back tomorrow. Let me know what you learned. Then she sat down with me after that and broke down everything to me. I was like, you know what? This chakra points, learn throat chakra, the sacral chakra, and everything. It changed me learning the energy process. So I appreciate
Beautiful.
you for what you're doing to help millions of people in the world. So it's a blessing that you're here and you're doing it. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. It's been a pleasure. Nice to meet you face to face.
Yes, face to face. So later in life, we'll reconnect, especially when I get back.
Oh, yeah. We'll get together. We'll do something.
Yes. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Real vibes, real shit, real stories. Come get a bite at the Lunch Meat Podcast.